I'm going to go ahead, and if you had the presentation, which you don't, I want to welcome everybody uh, to the 2021 Syracuse Elfun Society annual meeting. And like most meetings that we ever had in GE, we always start with the financials. I don't know why that always was, but it always was. So um, if you had the screen, or if you had a copy of the newsletter from May, you would see that I've put the year-to-date financial statement. And in a nutshell, we have $3,500 in income, or it's about 3460, I think, and that comprised mostly of dues, but also of dividends and interest as well. But that's pennies practically. For our expenses, our main expenses were postage and mailing and supplies. And then also we had expenses for the post office box and the general liability insurance that we need to keep, because as a organization like this, we always are leaving ourselves liable for either what we say or what we do during our activities. So we have the general liability insurance, which that's the biggest expense. That's $600 and something. So in total, the expenses were about $3,000, which left us a difference of about $500 to the positive. And we are a charitable organization. Our purpose isn't to make money. And then, as I will talk about in a few minutes, we also that additional money would have been spent on subsidies for social activities, which we didn't have, or that didn't cost us money. So what the board has decided to do is to, as a gesture of good faith, reduce the dues from $15 to $10 for the coming year. That will cause us to have a shortfall next year of $1,000, but when you balance that out with the $500 that additional that we made this year, which we hadn't intended to, that will kind of balance it out. So then we'll just have a deficit next year of about $500 in our overall expenditures. So that's the financials. That we started with $5,400, and we will end up the year with $5,900 in our combination of our savings and our checking account. And we have a total, Bob just updated me, that we have a total of 223 members, currently paid members. And in the newsletter, there was, I think, ballots for new member, or for the board of directors, and then also there was a way that you could pay the dues for the coming year. And so we expect that that will probably pull about $2,000 next year versus what we got this year. So that's about the financials. I just want to talk about the board itself. And first of all, I just mentioned that we had the out with the mailing, we had the ballots for the board of directors. And I want to congratulate Cindy Shermack, Marv Hahn, and Bob Ruth for re-election to the board of directors for an additional 4-year term. And thank you very much to the three of you for your service. And then I also wanted to mention that Don McLaughlin has joined the board. He was appointed to fill the term that was occupied by Neil Shantz, who moved to Florida. So welcome, Don, to the board, and we very much appreciate all of the expertise that Don brings. I know that he has quite financial acumen, that he can lend to Joe, who has done a fantastic job as treasurer, and also to from a leadership standpoint to the rest of the board. I will mention that we have open positions for vice chairman and also for secretary. Those are very important positions, and right now we don't have people to fill them. So we're looking for recommendations to people that would be willing to step in and assume those positions. As we know, 2021 was a very challenging year, and you would see the slide right now. You'd see pictures of that I had copied from one of Steve's newsletters of flyers of canceled events. You know, all of our
How do I see the slides you're showing?
well, you can't because I don't have, unfortunately, I did this wonderful slide
Okay.
presentation and I don't have
I
access
thought I
to
was missing something. Okay.
We all are.
it. Well, I'm missing something, but that's okay. That's to make a long story short, we were not able to do any of our on-site activities in 2020 and 21 due to COVID-19. We wanted to err in the on the side of being overly cautious because it's more important that we come back stronger than ever next year than that we have activities that don't really pan out well. But in the meantime, first thing I want to mention is that I mean, Steve really stepped up to the bar, and the content in the newsletters, it was fantastic, both from a the standpoint of insurance and also a lot of retrospective pictures, articles about activities that people would look nostalgically at and say, "Oh yes, I remember those co-eds from 1955 or whatever that were gathered around their GE radio to hear updates on whatever it was that was in that picture that Steve had included." So I hope everybody enjoys those articles that Steve puts in. I know that I get a lot of people that say that they do. And then in addition to the 4 newsletter mailings, Steve did a number of other mailings of items of interest. You know, a lot of it like Wall Street Journal articles and whatever, things that pertain to the health and well-being of the General Electric company that we would all be of interest to. And I think that those are, again, very well appreciated. I mean, certainly that's item in the public space that we all could make ourselves aware of, but in most cases don't. And so, Steve, thank you very much for pulling that together. So that certainly made up a lot of the difference. But the other thing is that we had a couple of Zoom activities. One was St. Joseph's Health and another was Symphoria. And we wanted to do more, but like I tried to get one with Via Benefits and had no success at getting a speaker. So I will say that from that standpoint, if anybody has any suggestions for a Zoom meeting, I would be willing to put it together, but I also don't want to have to sit there and pull things out of the air that may or may not be of interest to people. And speaking of possible future activities, of course, we should be looking at maybe another Zoom activity to do this spring or summer, but we also have future activities that we're looking at as things start to open up. You know, a number of us now have both of our vaccinations. You know, as time goes on, more and more of our members will be vaccinated, and that only gets you so far. But as we reach what the herd mentality or the herd numbers or whatever, where the majority of the people are vaccinated, then it'll get to a point where you can feel more comfortable being around people. So we're looking at some possible future activities. And Cindy, do you want me to talk about these, or would you like to talk about them?
I have audio now, so
Okay.
The first thing I'm kind of looking at is tracking down an outside restaurant of some sort. So maybe at some point this summer on a nice day, we can all get together for a socially distanced outside luncheon of some, just to get together. I've had a few people inquire about Merry-Go-Round Playhouse, Rev Theater, Marilyn Kinzel among them, and indicate that they're ready to go if we can get something together. I've contacted Merry-Go-Round and they have a tentative season up on their website, but they're still not in a position that they can be booking anybody for anything, and especially not booking groups for anything. But we're on their radar screen, and when things open up for them, if they do so this year, then we can see what our options might be. I heard from Gary.
Cindy, on that note, my wife and I have tickets to merry-go-round. Yeah, we had them. We bought them the year before last, and then it wasn't used last year, and we just left the money there and it carried over. So we got a call. We got a call the other day, and they apparently starting in July, August, September. They're going to have 3 shows.
Right, the 3 shows up for July, August, September. Yeah, 42nd Street.
42nd Street, and then Footloose, and then a Gwen Denver thing.
On Denver, yeah.
And apparently, my understanding is you have to have had your shots. And if you've had your shots, they're going to basically have normal seating. There won't be any, it'll be full seating, but supposedly you have to wear masks.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
So that's all set. I mean, they're doing that. And I mean, at least they said they were. And by the way, they did advertise that I think, it wasn't in this conversation, but somewhere, that they had put in a whole new air conditioning system to improve the ventilation in the place and so on.
Oh,
so
cool.
Anyway, my wife and I are planning to go because we have season tickets there.
You can report back to us. But as of yesterday, she wasn't ready to do anything with groups yet. So they're not to that point for us. But yes, you can report back to us how it is.
Okay.
And then I heard from Gary Gates, and he sent me a link wondering whether we might want to try to get a clam bake together out at the spinning wheel. And so I thought I'd run that by the board, and if we thought there would be any interest in something like that, it'd probably be about $50 a person. I could run it down and see what our options are. If we think that that's too ambitious for this year, then we can keep it in mind and table it.
I would think for August that would be fine. It really should be fine for August.
Where is the spinning wheel? What is it?
I've never been there. It's out on like Lakeshore Drive, out by Lakeshore Country Club, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Wow, they moved.
No.
I thought they were on Taft Road.
Oh, maybe they're on Taft Road. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, they're all Taft Road.
But not Hindelwald's area.
No.
No, they're more in the
Near the airport.
They're closer to Sur.
Yeah.
They're closer to Syracuse Research Corporation.
All right, they're on Thompson Road.
Right. Yeah, go down Taft and turn left on Thompson.
All right, okay.
That sounds great. The only thing would be if they would be, because I can see us having a few tables of people, but if they had minimum requirements of you must have 50 people or something like that, then we're probably out of luck on that.
Yeah, and that's something that, I would need to run down. But if we think it's not even a possibility, then there's no point in my running it down. But if we think it has potential, then I can check with them and see what their thoughts for us would be.
Okay. Thank you. What
And
else?
then one more thing. You know, hoping we can get together for a holiday party. I've started looking again at the links at traditions at the links at Erie Village. Our homeowners association has had a holiday party in there for several years. It's a big open room with a lovely view. Um, they could do a sit down lunch for us, which would be about $40. Prices have gone up in COVID days. Or what our homeowners association does is like a nice brunch with a carving station and that sort of thing, which they could do for us on a weekday and make it kind of a low-key holiday get-together. And again, I may do some work and run that down and see if we might be able to get enough people together to get together for the holidays this year. So
Good to me.
that's all I have. And I welcome input on what we think we should try to attempt this year or what we think is too ambitious for this year.
Exactly. Just like with the Zoom meetings, things will be most welcome if they come from the will of the people. So as a result, anybody online, or if you know anybody that isn't online now that has suggestions, please forward those to us, either for a potential Zoom meeting this spring or summer, or activities later in the summer that we can do on on site. But
How about baseball?
Oh yeah, I had that in the
well,
newsletter and forgot about it. Yes, they are.
we've thought about that, and that's a high possibility.
Yeah,
And
because it'd be outside and all that, you
it's
know.
outside, and what we were thinking too is that we can go to the far reaches of the stadium where nobody else dares to go and be away from the general public, So, I mean, normally we try to get right into section 200, right in front of the stairs and whatever, but maybe in this case, we would want to be, in a section where all by ourselves. So, I think that's an excellent suggestion, Lou, and one that we probably can pull off.
Oh, that's right. We need to pick a day, Lou, that you bring your whole clan. As of right now, I think, and Carl and I are going to go personally and kind of check out and see what the situation is, because we have tickets left over from last year that are valid for this year, the same as your merry-go-round. I think they're putting people on like pods of 6 or something like that. So that's actually a really nice idea if we can get everybody together for baseball.
Excellent.
Yep, I forgot about that. I had it in the newsletter and then forgot.
Okay, thank you. I guess we'll follow up. Are there any questions about the health and well-being of the Syracuse Elfun Society that anybody would like to approach, as long as we have probably a quorum of the board of directors on the call?
I think the only problem is you have a shrinking population. If you can do something about that, that'd be good.
I hear what you're saying, Lou, and I would very much like to freeze that right where we are. And unfortunately, that's a situation that we're going to be dealing with going forward. And, I hope everybody here and everybody that we deal with is not in that shrinking part of the population. William, can you identify yourself so that when I send out these notes, I can make sure that you get a copy as well?
Yes, I'm Bill Hayes. H-A-A-S-E.
Oh, H-A-A-S-E.
We pronounce it Hayes, but in German it's Haas. Hasenpfeffer. Too, I guess. Something like that.
Bill, do you have any suggestions or whatever, the things that you might want us to try?
Really, I appreciate Steve, all the messages we get from him. And that's very, very helpful.
I think we all do, so we definitely appreciate that, Steve.
And it's a little harder getting around, but we do it. We'll be away for the summer. That's the only problem, that we've never been able to participate in the summertime because we're away at a summer home, so in Jersey.
Cool. Most everybody goes away for the winter around here. But
Well, yeah. When I tell them we go down in New Jersey, I say, "Oh, we go north for the winter." They say we're crazy, but we like it.
very good, thank you. Does anybody else have any items that they would like to bring up with the folks that are on the board right now, that are on the call?
I'd like to thank you and Cindy for hanging in there and doing such a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you, Lou. You're welcome. It's nice to get out. And I will get together with you offline, and we'll kind of look at the Mets schedule and decide when I'll run down a game for us to take a small crowd and attend.
Well, thank you. If nobody has any additional comments or whatever, then I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting and thank Bob and Fred and Bill and Lou, Cindy and Steve and anybody else that I forgot for your time today, and wish you all the best.
Thank you,
very
Carl.
much. We'll go ahead and close the meeting now.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks.
See you all soon, I hope.
There were 230 something physically paid, but we had a number of deaths that knocked that number down.
Yep. Okay, it's precisely 12 o'clock. You want me to give it another minute or two, or go ahead and get started? I think I want to give it about another 2 minutes, just because I don't want to have to start and restart. Stop and restart.
I remember when we had the other Zoom meeting, I forget who the speaker was. We had people signing in 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. So.
Well,
they might have had issues signing in.
If they sign in 20 minutes late, they're likely to miss this completely. But I say Lou Raganese just.
Hey, Lou. How are you?
Hi, Lou.
Good. How are you all?
Great. Great. COVID free.
Yeah, I hope so.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Okay, so I'll give it 1 more minute. And in the meantime, I can be trying to figure out how to share my screen. Host disabled participant. Oh, so I've done this presentation, Steve, and I cannot share it because you did not give me the capability of doing it. Can you put it up? I just sent it to you.
How do I do that?
On the bottom, there should be a bar that says screen share.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can share my screen. Hold on.
Yeah, and then you just open up the document.
Yeah, there's a
point to that.
Yes, unfortunately, there's a problem with my logon for some reason. I'm not logged on as the host. I don't know what happened. I was playing around with it for about 10 minutes and I couldn't correct it. So when I click on the bottom, it said host disabled participant screen share.
Oh, I got that. I got that too. So my presentation that I did, I can't share it with anybody.
Yes.
You can email it afterward.
Yep.
Or you could email it to everybody now.
No, I'm going to go ahead, and if you had the presentation, which you don't, I want to welcome everybody to the 2021 Syracuse Elfun Society annual meeting.
That's all, folks.